All right, so we have our next match between Clip Farmer GC Destroyer and NiceGuyRy doing the rock, paper, scissors to go choose which stage they're gonna ban. Now, Destroyer is an interesting player today because he is one of our own at Game Crossing. He plays Rob and is pretty good at the character, all things considered. So I'm excited to see how he plays against a character like Dark Pit, who has a couple of options against his projectiles, such as the gyro, the laser, in the form of Dark Pit down B, which is more of a reflector. You know, it can take damage and count as a block, but I mean, it does exceptionally well at blocking. All right.
3, 2, 1.
Taking it to Final Destination. Immediate trade with projectiles. See Destroyer start that pressure with his neutral air, which recovers not only a lot of area, but keeps Rob safe all in all. You can see it's starting it up. But something that NiceGuyRy is already presenting is a different approach to fighting Rob, and that's staying in the air, you know? Some of these moves really work a lot better when you're on the ground, where you're sluggish, trying to run all the way back up to where Rob is, and NiceGuyRy doesn't have to do all that. All he has to do is just go into the air and approach, which is a lot easier in this matchup. As you can see, Destroyer is already racked up near 120 damage and takes that down smash quickly to ensure him the first stock of the set. As you can see, he's starting up his combos, misses it, putting Dark Pit in advantage. Ooh, just barely out of range, but that side B was able to close out the stock. I think it's really up to Destroyer right now whether or not he's going to continue his pressure or try to start grabbing for stocks. As you can see, I mean, NiceGuyRy's got these Dark Pit combos down, you know? I mean, when you have setups like this that allow you to not only fly around, but do a lot of damage whilst flying around, it's very hard to fight against, even for a character as mobile as Rob. Goes for the down air, misses, but grabs him on that roll read. Good up smash. Up to NiceGuyRy in order to close out the stock and hopefully make it. Wow, got a lot of those predictions in, but unfortunately could not prevent Destroyer from getting back on the stage. And by now, if you can look at Rob right now, you can see that he already got his uppie back. Oh, wow, that's an amazing down air. It doesn't spike all the time, but when it does, it is awesome. Calls out the laser by holding down B. Like I said at the beginning, that can solve a lot of issues that Rob opposes, such as the projectile spam. So all in all, I think we might be seeing a Mr. Rye game to start it off, but Destroyer, don't count him out yet. He's got that 93, but can still bring this back if he is able to perform better, which he's showing right now. Unfortunate side B that closes it out. Very well done from Mr. NiceGuyRy. Just was very quick, very agile around Rob, which is very important because when you get able to disturb Rob's sphere of influence, it's kind of hard for him. He's a little sluggish when running around, and that time he takes to start his aerials, it takes a little bit of startup time. So, especially for neutral air. So I think NiceGuyRy is going to ban. NiceGuyRy is going to ban his 3 stages, and it's up to Destroyer to pick the next stage. Now, in terms of Rob, I think NiceGuyRy is going to try to pick a stage that overall is harder for Rob to just set up. Yeah, Smashville, PS2, and Yoshi's. Yeah, those are stages that Rob doesn't do well, or Rob excels in, because, you know, tight spaces, you're able to bombard it with a bunch of projectiles like the gyro and lasers, and if he catches you, you're dead. Destroyer tries to clip farm for a Hollow Bastion pick, but ends up going Kalos Pokemon League. Although I don't blame him, I would have gone to Hollow Bastion too. It's a cooler stage. All right, starting out the next game.
3, 2, 1.
Already, we can see that there's a understandable difference between these two. Just the way that NiceGuyRy is going to attempt to approach a lot faster. You can see he's really racking up pressure. A far cry from how Destroyer seemed to be the one who was laying on a lot of this attacks in the beginning of the round or set, and goes for the spike, leaves himself open. I mean, the thing is, for how the reflection unfortunately gets read with that side smash. But like I was saying earlier, Destroyer at the beginning had such a large amount of projectile spam that you don't really see too much right now. You're seeing him throw something out occasionally, but they seem more like Hail Marys instead of, you know, calculated plans. And you can see that NiceGuyRy is really pushing that offensive up because he has the ability to. This is his time to either close the set out or just straight up make it a little more even. Nice down smash, quick enough to stop Destroyer from what I presume was maybe a grab. Yeah, see Destroyer trying to get those grabs, and NiceGuyRy is just trying his best to avoid that. Misses the last hit of up smash. You hate to see that happen if you're NiceGuyRy. You don't want that to miss, but he gets it the second time, which is good, allowing him to close out the first stock. And for only being at 56%, that's not too bad to even out the stock lead in. And Destroyer, you know, this is kind of in his area where he's doing all right, where he's still winning, but just not 100% there. Goes for the tilt, amazing. NiceGuyRy really worked hard to. Oh, will he get punished? Yes, he will. That matters a lot when you're trying to recover back on stage. You risk that. You risk Rob hitting that. It's super easy to land down air, especially with a character with such a telegraphed recovery as Dark Pit. You need to be ready for that. Get to the nair. And NiceGuyRy is still able to take a slight second of control, but every time he starts hitting his arrows, it's really just Destroyer who is able to even things out. He uses Electroshock to catch him off guard. Again, these down smashes, this is 127%. This should kill, but they're kind of booty cheeks all in all. Same with forward throw, I guess. Gets that nice arrow that's going to pierce right through Destroyer and set the game to a last stock situation for both of them. Again, the issue right now is that not only is it up to NiceGuyRy to take back the stock, the percent lead, but also maybe close out the set with a second victory. And already we see the advantage. I think Destroyer is really panicking right now. Ooh, insane mistake made by NiceGuyRy. Is he able to up B in time? He is! And Destroyer misses it, is able to survive. Wow, that was an insanely close near end to the match. I mean, you can see that both of these players are not ready to go down yet. Accidentally saves Destroyer with the down air. You gotta hit those, and that back air is able to bring it back. NiceGuyRy popped off harder than Destroyer somehow, even though he lost. And I gotta say, if you're Destroying this situation, this might just be what you needed in order to start slowly bringing back the match. Because I mean, overall, Destroyer had a bit of an issue. I can easily tell during this match that he couldn't keep up that momentum. And he's pointing again, clip farmer Destroyer, everyone, pointing at the TV screen. NiceGuyRy, I think at this point, what matters most is if he's able to close out stocks faster than Rob. Because if you can outpace him, you can win. They brought it back to FD. Okay, already we see NiceGuyRy trying to get that early lead again, because again, that's what made him such a threat in the beginning. Being able to set a precedent for how the match was going to go matters in these kind of situations, because again, Rob can catch up quickly and it doesn't take too many inputs to do so. So for a character like for Rob to like try to get back, you need to be able to not only predict his movements, but you also have to be able to predict Destroyer. And it seems that NiceGuyRy is having a hard time at that. I think he's really just trying to figure out how Destroyer tries to play it, and Destroyer is able to come back on stage, the whole round the world globe type of recovery, catches the get-up attack. And honestly, I get the usefulness of the spike, but I think it's become a detriment to NiceGuyRy to try and hit these like nasty spikes, even though the hitbox seems very inconsistent. Unless he's really just messing it up, I would say that it's not a very good hitbox to have at all to depend on. I would rather I'd rather Dark Pit have to convert into something like up smash or side smash in order to close out a stock instead of down air. And look at that, we can see NiceGuyRy able to take the gyros Rob's throwing at him and be able to fight back with it, inherently giving him that little sense of edge that he needs in order to catch up. And as you can see, Electroshock was actually able to prevent Rob from getting that offstage stock steal. So overall, hits him with the up smash. It is a pickup hitbox, so I mean, this is last stock for Ryan on this match, and so for Destroyer, this is the most even it's been for a while. And what this relies purely on is, did Destroyer catch up, or is this still time for NiceGuyRy to close the match beforehand? Because really, that second that Destroyer starts to understand you, it's game. So you see, I think honestly, NiceGuyRy, you have to admire how available he is on stage and off stage. You know, he jumps into the air to contest Rob with his aerials, and that matters. That can really be what puts you in a safe or dangerous situation. Is able to roll past the side B and therefore protect himself from losing his last stock. NiceGuyRy holding down the ledge, making sure he gets these quick little snipes that go a long way when it comes to doing extra damage and knockback. So you can see NiceGuyRy is using the spot dodges. Oh my gosh, and he gets Destroyer with such an elementary down smash, you know, just waited for him to do a normal get up. If he had done a get up attack, he would have been endangered, but insane bravery coming from NiceGuyRy. Overall, very well done for both players. As you can see, Destroyer definitely got humbled for pressing buttons in his space. As you can see, gets both of those shots. I mean, wow, that was an extremely well done play. Misses it, and then tries to go for the disrespect down air, and Destroyer responds in kind. You can see NiceGuyRy kind of shocked by this, and probably because there's not many characters in the game that really try to go in to frame you out of your recovery. Overall, I think both players did a wonderful job, and I'm very excited to see how NiceGuyRy continues on, especially now that Destroyer has been, I'm assuming, sent to loser's bracket. So, a great pop-up for NiceGuyRy. Destroyer keeping it humble for Game Crossing. What a wonderful match.